live. This is the first time ever going live, so bear with me. We are working on Back to Basics, and today we're going to be working on D major. The key of D major has two sharps, F sharp and C sharp. So we're going to go ahead and start off on the sixth string. Remember, this is an open E. So this is called E Dorian. The notes are E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D, E. This is the second mode of D major. Let's go and start with a metronome. Ready, play. E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D, E, E, D, C sharp, B, A, G, F sharp, E. Again, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D, E, E, D, C sharp, B, A, G, F sharp, E. One more time. You say the notes out loud. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the A. This is A Mixolydian. A is the fifth mode of D. So we have A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G natural, A. And then remember, for sharps, we can say Fs or Cs instead of saying C sharp every time. So you might hear me say Cs and Fs. Let's go do that, 60 BPM. Ready, play. A, B, C's, D, E, F's, G, A, G, F's, E, D, C's, B, A, B, C's, D, E, F's, G, A, G, F's, E, D, C's, B. One more time. Okay, once again, this exercise that we're playing is 0 to 12 in the key of D major, which brings us to our fourth string, which is D Ionian. This is the first mode of D. It goes D, E, F sharp, half step to G, whole step to A, whole step to B, whole step to C sharp, half step to D. Okay, once again, the sharp raise it at half step. So B to C is normally a half step. B to C sharp is a whole step. Okay, let's do this with a met. Ready, play. D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C's, D, C's, B, A, G, F's, E, D, E, F's, G, A, B, C's, D, C's, B, A, G, F's, E, D. One more time. All right, now we're moving to the third string, which is G. This is G Lydian. So we have G, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F's, G. This is the fourth mode of D major. And backwards would be G, F's, E, D, C's, B, A, G. Ready? Play. G, All right, now we move to B, the B string open. This is B Aeolian, the sixth scale degree of D major. It goes B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B. This is also called natural minor. B, A, G, F's, E, D, C's, B. If I had my freeze pedal here, I would be sustaining a B minor chord under this, so you can hear it. B, C sharp, D, E. Let's go ahead and do it with the Met. Ready? Play. B, C's, D, E, F's, G, A, B, B, A, G, F's, E, D, C's, B, B, C's, D, E, F's, G, A, B, B, A, G, F's, E, D, C's, B. Your turn. And then finishing out with the first string, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D, E. Remember, it mirrors the sixth string. Okay, this is E Dorian, the second mode. Ready? Play. E, F's, G, A, B, C's, D, E, E, D, C's, B, A, G, F's, E, E, F's, G, A, B, C's, D, E, E, D, C's, B, A, G, F's, E. Your turn. Okay, now that we're done at 0 to 12, we're going to go ahead and start with 3 notes per string on the lowest fretted note, which would be F sharp. Okay, F sharp is the third of D, which means this is Phrygian, the third mode. And it's going to sound like this: F sharp, G, A, next string, B, C's, D, next string, E, F's, G, A, B, C's, D, E, F's, G, A, B. Backwards. B, A, G, F's, E, D, C's, B, A, G, F's, E, D, C's, B, A, G, F's. So we're starting with 60 BPM, and then every week we're going to add 1 beat. So at the end of the year, we're going to add, it'll be up to 52 more beats. So we're just going to slowly increase that every single week. Let's start on the F sharp. 1, 2, ready, play. F's, G, A, B, C's, D, E, F's, G, A, B, C's, D, E, F's, G, A, B, A, G, F's, E, D, C's, B, A, G, F's, E, D, C's, B, A, G, F's. We're not going to repeat this note at the top. We're just going to go back down to A. Okay, now it's time to go to the next fret, which is G. So we're gonna have G, A, B, C's, D, E, F's, G, A, B, C's, D, E, F's, G, A, B, C's. Okay, 3 notes per string, right? C's, B, A, G, F's, E, D, C's, B, A, G, F's, E, D, C's, B, A, G. Let's try that with a mat. Ready? Play. G, A, B, C's, D, E, F's, G, A, B, C's, D, E, F's, G, A, B, C's, B, A, G, F's, E, D, C's, B, A, G, F's, E, D, C's, B, A, G. So one more time. G, A, B, C's, D, E, F's, G, A, B, C's, D, E, F's, G, A, B, C's, B, A, G, F's, E, D, C's, B, A, G, F's, E, D, C's, B, A, G. Okay, let's move up to A. And Mixolydian is the 5th mode. We have A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C's, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C's, D. Notice where those shifts are happening. All right, let's do that, starting on the 5th fret. Ready? Play. A, B, C's, D, E, F's, G, A, B, C's, D, E, F's, G, A, B, C's, D, C's, B, A, G, F's, E, D, C's, B, A, G, F's, E, D, C's, B, A. Your turn. Just imagine how much more comfortable you would be with the guitar fretboard if you did this with me every single day. If we did this together, we would be so more confident, so much more confident in the guitar and knowing exactly what the notes are on the fretboard and these scales, right? Hearing that Mixolydian has that flat 7 sound, right? Because normally in the key of A it would be a G sharp. So we had that flat 7 since we're in the key of D. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to B. This is B Aeolian, the 6th mode of D major. And it sounds like this: B, C sharp, D. Now we're going to the next string. E, F sharp, G, next string. A, B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C's, D, E. And then backwards, we're going to be playing E, D, C sharp, B, A, G, F's, E, D, C's, B, A, G, F's, E, D, C's, B. This is B natural minor. Here it is with a metronome. Ready? Play. B, C's, D, E, F's, G, A, B, C's, F's, E, D, C's, B, A, G, F's, E, D, C's, B. Your turn. Okay, right now we're just playing through each one twice. Let's go and go to C sharp. This would be C sharp Locrian out of the C sharp diminished. I'm sorry, half diminished. 7th scale degree of a D major. So we got C sharp D E, F sharp G A, B C sharp D, E F sharp G, A B C sharp D E F sharp. F sharp E D, C sharp B A, G F sharp E, D C's B, A G F's, E D C's. All right, let's do that with the mat. Ready? Play. C's, D, E, F's, G, A, B, C's, D, E, F's, G, A, B, C's, D, E, F's, E, D, C's, B, A, G, F's, E, D, C's, B, A, G, F's, E, D, C's. Your turn to say them out loud. Okay. Great job. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to D on the 10th fret. Once again, if any of this is confusing, you can go to my Patreon. I have a ton of videos, over 90 videos, where you can search and look for yourselves about different modes, scales, triads, all type of information there, different warm-ups that are going to help you keep your fingers loose and limber. A ton of things that I grabbed from the Steve Vai 10-hour workout. He has a ton of warm-ups that are really great. But let's go ahead and start off on D. We got D, E, F's, G, A, B, C's, D, E, F's, G, A, B, C's, D, E, F's, G. Also notice those shifts we have going on, right? So it's shift, shift, right? So what, 2 different shifts in there. Let's do 60 BPM. Make sure to take a deep breath. Ready? Play. D, E, F's, G, A, B. Here's the shift. D, E, F's, G, A. Another shift to B. C's, D, E, F's, G, F's, E, D, C's, B, A, G, F's, E, D, C's, B, A, G, F's, E, D. Your turn. You're doing great. Thank you for practicing these with me. Like I said, we're just focusing on getting back to the basics. Learning the notes on the fretboard. Okay, this is the last time that we're going to be doing this on the 12th fret, right? Because then we're just going to start back over on that F sharp. So here's the 12th fret. We have E, F's, G, A, B, C's, D, E, F's, G, A, B, C's, D, E, F's, G, A. Okay, let's try that with Matt. This is E Dorian. Ready? Play. E, F's, G, A, B, C's, D, E, F's, G, A, B, C's, D, E, F's, G, A, G, F's, E, D, C, B, A, G, F's, E, D, C's, B, A, G, F's, E. Your turn to say them out loud. All right, great job. So we did 0 to 12. We did 3 notes per string. Now it's time for us to go through all of our triads. Okay, so the D triad is D, F sharp, A. Right, so I call this set 1, strings 1, 2, 3. This is root, 3rd, 5th. Okay, so 1, 3, 5, D, F sharp, A. All right, then we're moving up to E minor. E minor is E, G, B. Right, then we're moving up to F sharp minor, F sharp, A, C sharp. To G, G, B, D. Let's see, how about we go to this A down here, A, C sharp, E, A, C sharp, E. To this B, B, D, F sharp, B minor, B, D, F sharp. Then we have a C sharp diminished, which is C sharp, E, G, C sharp, E, G, and then back up to D, F sharp, A. All right, so let's go ahead and do this with the metronome. Ready? Play. D, E minor, F sharp, minor, G, here's A, B minor, C sharp diminished, to D. Now descending, we're going to go backwards. B minor, A major, to G major, F sharp minor, E minor, D. Let's do that one more time. D, E minor, F sharp minor, G, here's A, moving on to B minor, C sharp diminished, to D, descending, all the triads in the key of D major. Okay, so those were all root position triads. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to first inversion, which means that the F sharp would be in the bass. So this is going to be, go ahead and find your F sharp, which is right here. F sharp, A, D. F sharp's on the 11th. A and D are on the 10th fret. Moving up to E minor. Actually, how about we, let's go down. So we're going to go D major, and then we're going to go down to E minor. And then F sharp minor on the 2nd fret. To G major. To A major over C sharp. These are all slash chords, all first inversions. To B minor over D. C sharp diminished over E. And then back to D. Okay, let's do that with the Met. Ready? Play. Descending. One more time. D. Okay, very good. Now we're going to move on to the second inversion, which means that the 5th A is going to be in the bass. So we need A, D, F sharp. This is that standard cowboy D that you probably learned whenever you first started playing the guitar. Right, so these are all second inversion chords. We're going to have E minor over B, F sharp minor over C sharp, G over D, A over E. This is B minor over F sharp, right? And then we have our C sharp diminished, which actually, let's play that, go down here on the open. C sharp diminished over G, and then back to A. Okay, so once we get up to the B minor, then we'll shift down to C sharp diminished, and then we'll finish on D there. 1, 2, ready, play. D, E minor, F sharp minor, G, A, B minor, here's that C sharp diminished, then D. Now we're going to go descending. Here's 2, here's 1. Let's do it one more time. So 1, 2, in the key of D, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's 7 to 1. And then we're going to go descending. All right, very good. We just finished out the first set. Now we're going to go on to the second set, which is strings 2, 3, 4. We're going to start off root position. So we have D, F sharp, A. And then we're going to do an octave displacement, go down to this E minor here. So we're going to go D, E minor, F sharp minor, G, A, B minor, C sharp diminished, right? And then going backwards. All right, let's do that. Ready? Play. G, A, B minor, C sharp diminished, to D. And then we're going to go backwards. Let's do that again. Descending. Okay, very good. Now we're moving on to the first inversion, which means we need F sharp on the 4th string. It's going to be the 4th fret. Hold this guitar up a little bit so you can see better. We got F sharp, A, D. Right, then we move on to E minor. These are all second inversion chords, or I'm sorry, first inversion chords. Apologies. F sharp minor over A, G over B, G over A, I'm sorry, A over C sharp, right? Here's B minor. Let's see, how about we do, let's do, where should we do that at? C sharp, we'll do it right there. C sharp diminished over E, right? So we have E, G, C sharp, and then back to D major, over F sharp, and then we'll go backwards. We'll go to this B minor here, to A, G, F sharp minor, E minor, back to D. Let's do it with the Met. We're going to arpeggiate those, starting on the F sharp. 2, ready, play. backwards. This descending, going through all the modes and triads of D major. Here's A major, G major, F sharp minor, E minor, to D major. Let's do that again. Descending. All right, now we're doing the second inversion, which starts on the A on the 7th fret. Right, we have a D chord right here on the 7th fret. A, D, F sharp. So this is a D over F sharp. D slash F sharp. That's an E minor. F sharp minor, we're gonna go down here for this G major, open strings. G major. There's that A major, that stock A chord. I'm sure that some of you make it like this, or even with these fingers. I prefer to bar it. Whatever's easier, more comfortable for you. A major, B minor, right? And then we're gonna play this C sharp diminished. We got G, C sharp, E over D. Ending on D. C sharp diminished over G. B minor over F sharp. A over E. G over D. F sharp minor over C sharp. E minor over A. Or I'm sorry, E minor over B. And D minor over A. Or D major over A. Words are hard. Let's do that with the Met together. Ready, play. Try and ease the tension. Just like Chubb said on Happy Gilmore, ease the tension, baby. Here's B minor. C sharp diminished. Don't forget to breathe. Let's do descending. Try and relax. Here's this F sharp minor. E minor. D. Let's do it again. Ascending. Descending. Very good. That finishes out set 1 and set 2. Really quickly, remember that this is not about instant gratification. This is about being able to know the names of the frets, this is being able to know the names of the chords, and to be able to find different voicing. So if somebody comes to you and says, hey, can you play a D chord? And you're just like, okay, sure. How do do you want that D chord to sound? Right? Do you want it to be here, here, here? Do you want it to be here? Right, and that's just talking about one chord and those, just in those two sets. Right, they all have different sounds. They might all bring out something differently, okay? You want to be able to do that, and that's, you're not going to be able to just do that by not, going through this step-by-step process, okay? It's all about the process. Now we're going to move on to set 3. We got D, F sharp, A right here. Moving on to E minor, F sharp minor. These are all root position chords. G major, A major. This is B minor. Let's do C sharp diminished down here. Right, and then descending we'd play. I'll make sure I got that. B minor. I accidentally played B major there, right? That's that. Right, since it's a D natural. Okay, and then to A major, G major, F sharp minor, E minor, D major. Let's do that with a Met. Ready? Play. D, F's, A, E, G, B, F's, A, C's, G major, sorry, A major, B minor. Here's that C sharp diminished, D major. Now we're going backwards. You know what, let me stop. Let's do that again. Start thinking about other things here. Let's do D major, C sharp diminished, and then we're gonna come up here. Gotta get to that F sharp. 2, ready, play. D, C sharp diminished. Here's that B minor. There we go. To the A, to the G, the F sharp minor, to the E minor, to the D major. Let's do that again. Let's try not to stop this time. Descending. Okay, excellent. Now we're moving to first inversion, which means we have F sharp here on the 9th fret. These two are on E minor, F sharp, minor. Now let's go down here for G major, right, over B, A major over C sharp, B minor over D, right, and then we need, this is C sharp diminished over E, back to D. Okay, let's do that with the Met. Ready? Play. Oh wait, sorry, let's do that again. So we got, that's right, we're doing, So we were at that B minor. Let's do that from the top. Ready, play. Here's the G, A, B minor is next, C sharp diminished, back to D, and let's do descending. One more time. A over C sharp, B minor over D, C sharp diminished over E, D over F sharp, backwards. Excellent. Okay, now we're finishing out set 3 with a second inversion, okay, which means we need the A on the bass. Let's do this A. Let's do this E minor, something you're familiar with, to this F sharp minor, right? F sharp minor over C sharp, the 5th is in the bass, G over D, A over E, here's our B minor chord over F sharp, here's our C sharp diminished over G, and then back to D. All right, let's do it with the Met. Ready, play. D, E minor, F sharp minor, G major, A major, E minor, here's C sharp diminished, and a D. We're gonna go backwards now. Sorry, let's start right there. After G, right, then we go to F sharp minor, that's right, and then E minor, and then D. Let's do that one more time. 2, ready, play. Here's that C sharp diminished to D. Now we're going to go descending. Try and get everything clean going down. As soon as I say that. Where did I mess up at? Was that the A? Let's do that. Let's do it from the A. The 7th fret. It goes to G, to F sharp minor, to E minor, and then D. All right, very good. That's the 3rd set. Now remember, if you've been following along since the first Back to Basics, right, we've learned that the sets 3 and 4 are the same shapes, but they're just in different places. So this is the root position shape. There's the root position shape, right? Now we just start on the 10th fret, 6th string. For the 4th set, which is strings 4, 5, 6. So we're gonna go D, F sharp, A, right? E, G, B. Let's do this here. F sharp, A, C sharp. Let's go to G, G, B, D down here. A, C sharp, E. B, D, F sharp. C sharp diminished. Right? There's a G, doing this, F sharp, E minor, D. All right, let's do that with the Met. Ready? Play. D. Hold on, I can't mess up on the very first one. Let's do it again. Ready? Play. To G down here. To this A. Gotta get that cleaner. B minor. C sharp diminished. The D. Descending. Let's do it again. Descending. A major. G major. F sharp. E minor. It's D major. We'll do this again. Ascending. E minor. F sharp minor. G major. A major. E minor. Here's that diminished chord. Descending. One more time from F sharp minor here. There it is. Okay, beautiful. Now we're moving on to the first inversion triads. So we're going to start here on F sharp. We got F sharp, A, D. Remember, this is the same as set 3 on this F sharp. Same shape, okay, different spot. So we got D, E minor, F sharp minor. Very beautiful sounding, may I add. I love these lower chords, or lower voicings, I mean. It's a G over B, A over C sharp, B minor. What a cool B minor, right? A lot of times people play that here, but that's really cool. And then we got the C sharp diminished. Back up to, we can go ahead and play that one. So let's start with this one. Here's the metronome. 2, ready, play. F sharp minor. A. B minor. C sharp diminished. Now we're going to go descending. To B minor. major to G major, F sharp minor, E minor. Oh, and then I got distracted by E minor. I was playing this one and then I just went to that E minor. Let's do that again. From F sharp. Ready? Play. Here's A. Here's B minor over D. Here's that C sharp diminished over E. And then up to D. Descending. F sharp minor, E minor. Here's that. What a cool D chord, right? So many times people play that up here, but it's a really cool D chord. That's the other thing I love about practicing stuff like this. It's because then you start hearing things and you can start, like, you know, especially if you're a singer-songwriter yourself, you can hear these different chords and you can start putting it together different voicings that you probably haven't played before. Okay, so we're going to be ending today on the second inversion, which means we start on the A, the fifth in the bass, right? A, D, F sharp. E minor over B. F sharp minor over C sharp. G over D. A over E. We're going to go to this B minor over F sharp. What a cool B minor chord. Right, then we're moving to this C diminished. We're going to be back to this major, minor, minor, major. All right. Let's do it again. Ready? Play. Wait, let's find it first. D major, right? Ready? Play. F sharp minor. G. A. F sharp. Descending. Before we play that again, I just have to stop. We are officially 1 hour into my first live stream on YouTube. So thank you for watching this all the way, right? Staying with me for the first hour. So far, we've made it through every single mode in the key of D major. We've played every triad, so we've really covered a lot of ground. You should be really proud of yourself. Way to pick up and prioritize your instrument, prioritize learning new information and getting better as a musician and challenging yourself and just getting better overall. I really am proud of you. You should be proud of you. Make sure and give yourself a pat on the back. Your fingers will thank you. They'll feel so much more comfortable with the guitar. Your guitar will thank you. It loves spending time with you, right? Let's do this one more time. And then we're going to be done for tonight until tomorrow, right? And then we're going to pick a new key tomorrow. So here is the last time through second inversion D major triads, right? And the key of D major, I should say. Here we go. Ready? Play. D, E minor, F sharp minor. Let's make it good. Here's G. Here's A. Descending. Ooh. We can't enter that note. So we're going to go to this A, G, right? It's like you can't end on a bad note. You always got to go back and fix it. It's the same thing with like whenever Joanna and I are playing Frisbee, we always have to end on a good throw, right? So if you miss a note like I did, make sure and go back and fix that tone, fix the fingering. There's E minor. All right, that is the key of D major. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I will see you tomorrow. Hopefully I can figure out how to end this live stream.